Okay.
Hello and welcome back to A Course in Miracles workbook for students. We are on lesson 133 and it's called I Will Not Value What is Valueless.
Oh,
Sometimes in teaching there's a benefit, particularly after you have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what the student has already learned, to bring him back to practical concerns. This we will do today. We will not speak of lofty, world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on benefits to you.
you do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminences valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. This course does not attempt to take from you the little that you have. It does not try to substitute utopian ideas for satisfactions which the world contains. There are no satisfactions in the world.
Yeah. Today we list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want. Unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers no for they can but replace what offers more. The laws that govern choice you cannot make, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do, indeed you must. But it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose, and what alternatives you choose between.
We have already stressed there are but two, however many there may be, however many there appear to be. The range is set, and this we cannot change. It would be most ungenerous of you to let alternatives be limitless, and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time, and not be brought so clearly to the place where there is but one choice that must be made.
Another kindly and related law is that there is no compromise in what your choice must bring. It cannot give you just a little, for there is no in between. Each choice you make brings everything to you or nothing. Therefore, if you learn the test by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice.
First, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you choose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. Time can never take away a value that is real. What fades and dies was never there, and makes no offering to him who chooses it. He is deceived by nothing in a form he thinks he likes.
Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else, you will have nothing left. This is because when you deny his right to everything, you have denied your own. You therefore will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. Who seeks to take away what has been deceived by the illusion, loss can who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion loss can offer gain, yet loss must offer loss and nothing more.
Your next consideration is the one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here it is easiest of all to be deceived. For what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo which it must use to protect its goals, which it uses to protect its goals from tarnish and from rust, that you may see how innocent it is.
Yet it is camouflage, yet it, yet, yes, is its camouflage a thin veneer, which you would deceive but those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look at them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who is deceived will not perceive that he has merely failed to gain. He will believe that he has served the ego's hidden goals.
Yet though he tries to keep its halo clear with his vision, still must he perceive its tarnished edges and rusted core. His ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to him, because he looks upon the tarnish as his own, the rust a sign of deep unworthiness within himself. He who would still preserve the ego's goals and serve them as his own makes no mistakes according to the dictates of his guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are but mistakes, for who would suffer for his sins if this were so?
And so we come to the criterion for choice, which that is the hardest to believe because its obviousness is overlaid with many levels of obscurity. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives, and thus you do not realize there are but two. And the alternative you think you choose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is.
All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not of being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke which hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. What is the gain to you in learning this? It is far more merely letting you make choices easily and without pain. Heaven itself is reached with sorry.
I know it's easy to want to carry on. Heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. We will attempt to reach the state today with self-deception laid aside and with an honest willingness to value but the truly valuable and the real. Our two extended practice periods of 15 minutes each begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek. For only that do I desire to find.
And then receive what waits for everyone who reaches unencumbered to the gate of heaven, which swings open as he comes. Should you begin to let yourself collect some needless burdens or believe you see some difficult decisions facing you, be quick to answer with the simple thought, I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me.
Nice.
That's
Another
interesting.
another challenging chapter.
Yeah, truly.
So, I mean, because we study this material, we kind of know already what they are referring to as value and valueless. And everything
Mm-hmm.
of this world, of course, appears to be it is valueless,
Right.
and the kingdom of heaven or source or whatever you want to call it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is the value.
Right. Yeah, so don't really put any particular thought or need or want or desire onto anything that isn't everlasting,
Hmm.
because everything else will disintegrate.
Yeah. It's funny when I've been drawn to on YouTube to watch are like decluttering and whatever videos.
Yeah.
And what's funny too is like the other ones are don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it videos, we're not going to support those big companies just because we can buy it easily online or you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean or whatever
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. And I know for me I don't need anything to decorate. I don't need anything. I don't need a thing of magic of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and so for me it's clear that the only things I really need to buy are food,
Right.
which to me has value.
Right.
Regardless of this realm, we still need food.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
gasoline for my car,
Right.
but i
Because
don't
even
i
the
don't
vessel itself that you're feeding, it doesn't last,
hmm
right?
yeah,
So we can't really even put too much value on our own bodies.
yeah, because you're right, because it doesn't last
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And we've seen videos where buildings go abandoned and nature takes over. It
Yes.
finds its way into cracks and creeks and whatever.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, a concrete building is surrounded by greenery.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take very long.
No. No.
So
Which is,
that's kind of funny.
I've always found that very weird. So that must be some kind of an energetic thing because say things like grass and weeds grow constantly. So Why don't they grow? Why isn't it like a lawn that you would have to, you know, trim and landscape, and just because your cars are driving over it all the time doesn't mean that those seeds aren't being dropped and the soil's not getting wet, and right?
Yeah,
Why is it the absence of the human
I
allow
know.
for that to proliferate? It's
Yeah,
interesting.
it is interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite funny. And yet in number two, it says, you do not ask too much of life, but far too little.
Mm-hmm.
When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. I guess that's why. So when we know and remember who we are, my eye is twitching. I'm glad you can't see that on the screen. I think it's from not sleeping,
Yeah.
um, but far too little. So we want the funny little things and not the real remembering.
Right.
And do we really understand? We think we know abundance, but do we really know abundance?
Right. It's in
Which is
such a
supposed to be our
contracted
God-given
state.
right.
Yeah. But here on Earth, it's in a very contracted state, what we
Yeah,
consider abundance. Right.
yeah.
Okay. Today we list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want.
Where's that?
And number 3,
Oh,
unless they
yeah.
meet the sound requirements, unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers more. The laws that govern choice you cannot make, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do, indeed you must, but it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose, and what alternatives you choose between.
Today we list the real criteria. I wish it was clear. Here's your
Well,
list
and
of,
then in number 4 it says we have already stressed there are but two, however many there appear to be.
oh, right. And then it would be most ungenerous to you to let alternatives be limitless and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time and not been brought so clearly to the place, but there is but one choice that must be made.
So there really isn't two.
No. Therefore, if you learn the test by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice. First, if you choose a thing that will not, I guess that's it right there. If you choose a
Yes.
thing that will not last forever, what you choose is valueless,
Yep.
which is everything we choose here.
Yeah. And then next, if you choose to take away from someone else, you will have nothing left. Then your next consideration is the one on which the others rest. What is the choice you make of value to you? Yeah.
What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here is it is easiest of all to be deceived. Right, because for what the ego wants, it fails to recognize because I have to have that because someone super special has that. And if I have that, then I'm super special too. We've
Right.
bought into that programming, right?
Hmm.
I want to have, you know, you win $1 million or 10 million or whatever, you want to have the fanciest house, car,
Hmm.
whatever. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I
instead
bet you
of,
it happens the most with automobiles,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then probably handbags.
Which
Right? That's how women kind of not the women that we know, but say Beverly Hills, right? It's all about the cars and the handbags. It's the labels that people can recognize, or the shoes or something, right? It's literally
completely
fashion.
valueless.
100%. 100% valueless. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's why we're sort of funneled into big cities so that we all have the same mentality. Oh,
Yes.
this person
Yeah.
has a McLaren and a Prada bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, well, if you have that lifestyle, I guess that's what you buy. You're not going to buy a Walmart vinyl purse,
Right.
sticky plastic, pink plastic or something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But my purse is small. What do I put in my purse? I have a wallet and a phone.
Yeah.
I don't even leave my keys in it. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of chuckle at people who have great big handbags. I don't
Yeah.
need lipstick because I'm
Mm-hmm.
perfect as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have a pen and I have some coin if
Nice.
I need parking. And really,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't fit in. But you get caught up in that when you move to, or when, because I lived in Whistler for a while and that was very casual, of course.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to the city and got all the cashmere suits and the linen
Mm-hmm.
suits and all the fancy stuff because that's what we were doing. I was going
Sure.
to an office every day.
Yep.
So, whereas the office in Whistler was very casual, if you looked nice, you looked nice, but I
Yep.
wasn't in the public eye. I
Yep.
wasn't in the public eye either in the city, but I got caught up all in that, right?
Sure.
I had the nicest suits. I
Yep.
got
I
back
think
to
the
Vernon, where
city.
it's a small town. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wears it. I gave it all away. I
Yeah.
held on to it for years. This is value. I bought, $1,500 for a suit collection.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it here.
Yeah. No, I know.
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the cities are the original hive mind.
Yeah.
I think what you had kind of said is exactly right because everybody's in such close proximity that it's almost like women that cycle together that work together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That those energetics start to harmonize and people start doing all the same things.
Yeah. And therefore, you all have fancy suits on and high heels, and I don't
Mhm.
have high heels anymore.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, I would walk to work. I would take the bus to work because
Mhm.
parking was ridiculous
Yeah.
in most jobs. And so I would walk to work in my runners with my fancy suit
Mhm.
and put on my high heels when I got to the office. It was silly. It's just silly when you think about it, right?
Mhm.
And it's not. I mean, if that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, it's funny.
It is. It's
Anyway,
hilarious.
so I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek. For only that do I desire to find.
Mhm.
And we'll wrap it up with that.
All right.